Hi everyone, hi English learners. How have you been up to? Today I'll be talking about school idioms, knowing that everyone has been started go to school. Well, let's dive right in. The first one is teacher's pet. Teacher's pet. It is not about animals anyway. Teacher's pet means the student who liked the best by the teachers and treated better than others. For example, George is a smart student. He is the teacher's pet. Let's move on. Bookworm. Bookworm. That means a person who excessively uh, dedicate or devotes their life to study and reading. For example, Shara spends most of her time to read a book. She is the real bookworm. I love to use Josh and Sarah in my examples. So let's move on. Copycat. Copycat. That means a person who imitates or adopts the behavior or practices of others. Let's see. George is a copycat. He can imitate the way you speak, the way you walk. Let's go for the next one. An A for effort. A for effort. That means a verbal acknowledgement of appreciation of attempting a task, even if it didn't get successful result. So, for example, Josh has been study hard, and his teacher gives him an A for effort. So even though George didn't get a successful result or didn't get good mark, but the teacher appreciate his effort for studying hard. All right. So an A for effort. The teacher gives him an A for effort. All right. Let's move on. To learn by heart. To learn by heart. That means to learn very well about something, to memorize. So let's see. George knows that movie by heart. So that means he knows who the actress, the actors, the plot of that movie. All right. So another example maybe you can play the guitar very nice and very well, and then you know how to play the guitar by heart. All right. Let's move on. To pass with flying colors. That means to excessively successful to achieve what you're doing. Maybe you take an exam, or maybe you take a part on a competition. All right. So, for example, you have been prepared very well. I know you will pass with flying colors. All right. Let's move on to play hockey. To play hockey. That means to leave earlier, to leave the class earlier, even though the class is still going on, but you just leave it, and then you go to somewhere or maybe doing something else. So, for example, George played hockey. George played hockey and went fishing. Why he did this? Maybe he found the class was boring, or maybe he didn't concentrate for the lesson, right? And then he left the class earlier, right? Then he's supposed to be there, all right? But he just left. So it's called play hockey, all right? To leave the class earlier before the class finishes. Let's move on. Uh, drop out of school. To drop out of school means to stop attending the school or the college or university for practical reasons, like inability, in necessities, or maybe disappointment. So, for example, people who drop out of school will difficult to find a job, right? Let's move on. To put your thinking cap on. To put your thinking cap on. That means to start thinking seriously about something. So, for example, if your teacher asks you a question, you have to put your thinking cap on. All right. So you don't need to answer with inappropriate answer. All right. So you don't have to make any mistake. So maybe when you having an interview to have a job, to find a new job, maybe, and you have to put your thinking cap on, all right, to in answering the questions, all right. So you don't have to feel any regrets in the end, all right. So think carefully, think seriously. To answer the question, you have to put your thinking cap on. Let's move on. To show off hands. To show off hands. When you're in class, mostly you doing this, right? You show off hands when you want to answer the questions, right? If you want to say something, right? Show off hands means to raise your hands to indicate if you want to say something, if you want to convey something, if you need something, if you agree with something, all right? So you just raise your hand, all right? So yeah, that's it. The school idioms for today, and hope this is useful. And thank you for watching. See you for the next one. Enjoy your day. Bye bye.